Howdy y'all, Hana here. It's been a while, hasn't it? I promise it wasn't intentional. I'd never leave you guys hanging without a reason. Lately, I've been going through a bit of a doozy, but I thought I can get my mind off things with a TikTok art challenge. Now, admittedly, I haven't been active on TikTok, so I apologize if my attempt at this isn't graceful. Today we're doing an OC design challenge, so let's not waste another moment and get to drawing. The OC challenge we're doing today is by TikTok user @Sneal789, and it's basically a prompt list we have to fill out. Then we'll make a new character based on our answers. I am referencing a different TikTok user's video, so you'll see their video come up on the left side as we go through the video. So let's go ahead and watch the video for our first prompt.
OC challenge, yay! If you're a daytime person, draw a boy, and if you're a nighttime person, draw a girl.
First, our character will be a girl since it was prompted due to me preferring nighttime. I'll draw out a base for our character. I have thought a bit about how I want my character to be beforehand, so I'll reveal bits and pieces as we go through. What I do know is I'll do a character design first, then an illustration of our character later. Now let's see what we should do for our skin color.
The skin is based on your favorite color.
Our next prompt is the skin color, which is based on my favorite color, which is a mix between green and teal. Since it's an unnatural skin color, I figured the easiest thing to do was to make her an alien from space to explain it. Okay, time to check how we should do our character's hair.
The hair color is the same color as your phone case.
Now, the hair is the prompt I focused on the most. Her hair should be based on my phone case, which happens to be clear. I pondered two directions I could go with this. First, I could make her hair a clear liquid like water, or I could give her a clear gem-like hair. With the space theme, I thought gem hair might be nice to explain a backstory. Like, maybe she's an alien who grows clear gems out of her hair and she's being sought after for it. So now I'm feeling she could have a more nervous demeanor for being constantly hunted. Lastly, I happen to have a heart sticker made by a family member on my phone case, so I'll give her some heart motifs throughout the design. Time for the outfit.
The clothes and the color are styled after your favorite planet in the solar system.
Now, the prompt says next her outfit should be based on my favorite planet. To be honest, I don't have a favorite planet, but I chose Saturn because I thought the rings were pretty. I gave her a holographic bodysuit with a clear dress and golden ring. I gave her bangles as a choker and on her wrists too. Overall, I kept it simple because I want to make her hair the standout design element. And now let's see what we should do for the eyes.
The eye color is based on what pet you have. If you have no pet, draw a blindfold.
On to the eyes. The prompt asks us to base it on our first pet. My first pet happens to have been albino rats with red eyes, so I gave her red eyes. It is also a nice complement to her green skin. Now for the final information of the video.
And now it's time for accessories. If you have Facebook, add a bag. If you have Instagram, add a bow. If you have Snapchat...
And lastly, we have our social media prompts. For these, we were to add accessories and props based on the social media accounts we possessed. I was really selective with these, so I just opted for a bow in her hair, jewelry in the form of earrings, and white rings and star tattoos. Our design is pretty much finished, but I don't want to shy away from a challenge, so as to explore her character more, I decided to do two other social media prompts and give her a flag and a cat. Just a little lore for y'all. Some brownie points go to those who know what her flag represents. Now, I did do a preliminary sketch to explore her design before I recorded this one, so I'll put that up for comparison as we finish our design. Our design is just about done, so here's the final time lapse. And finally, our TikTok Space OC is finished. But you know, since she's an OC, we should name her, right? I've just been calling her Crystal for now, but if y'all have any name suggestions, let me know in the comments below. Crystal is definitely cute, but let's be real, an OC is not really an OC unless we hyperfixate on them and give them a background story where we impose our own traumatic traits onto them and inevitably put them through a transformative heartbreak that will turn them into a worn-out shell of what they were once before. Which I will proceed to do in the form of drawing them into a beautifully mysterious illustration. But first, a message from Zori and Jin. Oh, it seems like so much fun making OCs from prompts. I really want to see more. You know, we could get the Wayfinders to assist with that. Wayfinders? You mean like the viewers watching this video? They could comment some ideas they'd like to see in a new character, like hairstyles, clothing, colors, or props. We'd then choose a handful of different ideas and combine them all together into one complete design. Others could also use the comments and ideas for inspiration for their own designs too. Wowee, that's such a good idea! Wayfinders, could you please comment below your ideas for what you would like to see in a new character design? We'll choose some comments to feature in the next video. And also, feel free to use the comment section to look for inspiration as well. I just can't wait to see what the Wayfinders come up with. Yes, me too. Well, that was fun from Zori and Jin. On to our illustration segment. I definitely want to draw Crystal in space with a dark background but have her hair shimmer due to the crystals. So I'm sketching out my character now. I did draw a thumbnail beforehand, so I'm going to reference the placement of things here in my illustration. A thumbnail is a basic composition sketch for you to explore on before you start on the final illustration. Once I have my character sketched out, I'll do another sketch on top to define shapes and organize my details. And finally, now I'll start working on the line art. I use a dense watercolor brush for line art with a really small brush size at 3 pixels. Lately, I've been using smaller brush sizes because I feel it pushes me to make sure the shapes and details are good enough to hold their own without relying on thick lines to suggest form. Now that most of our line art is done and I've done some cleaning, I noticed that I like to add more details to the hair. A quick and simple way to do this is to take a larger white brush and add a border effect with a black border of about 1 or 2 pixels. Then, simply draw hair strands with one stroke to create simple but effective line art for your hair strands. You could then rasterize this new layer and go to Edit, change Brightness to Opacity to remove the white so you can color under the layer. Then simply erase away various parts. Use this in your next illustration with gorgeous flowing hair. We've got our line art done now, so I'm going to add my base colors. Right on top of everything, I'm going to create a multiply layer, clip to the base color folder, and add a dark blue shadow. Then, I'll create another layer on top on overlay mode and create lighting with a pinkish light tone. I'm going to repeat this with varying tones for the skin as well. Right now, I'm creating simple lighting for my illustration to act as a guide for when I go through and color more details later. When I'm creating the light and shadow relationships, I think about the form of the shapes I'm coloring and which sections the light will hit and which ones will be hidden in shadow. I am using a light source directly from the top. Additionally, I'll also create some light emitting from the earrings in blue because I know I also want some light to emit from the earrings as well. For our hair, I'll start off creating triangles and quadrilaterals in her hair with different colors. Crystals and gems reflect a lot of light, so I'll try to use various colors from the character and background. I'll clean up some of the shapes later, but for now I really want to focus on creating a clear, see-through, and illuminated hair. Mostly, I'm just trying out new things, see if I can create a new form of hair from my knowledge of clear objects and crystals. While still looking like hair, I want to show that they are formed crystals rather than strands. So I create many shapes in the hair using brushes or the lasso tool. I'm adding highlights to the edges of the hair to show how the shine reacts to the solid form of the hair. From here on, I'll just color the rest of the character using normal techniques, so enjoy the rest of the process. I'd love to make more in-depth tutorials in the future, but I'm currently trying to get through some projects. In the meantime, I'll try to share short tips and tricks in my videos. But when I can, more in-depth tutorials in live 2D cubism and illustration will definitely be coming. And of course, I'm always trying to improve so that I can bring you guys the best knowledge possible. But that's also a factor in why things take longer for me than usual. Well, let's just say life has been kicking me in the butt lately. I'm in the process of figuring out a lot of stuff, but I just wanted to let everyone know who's feeling the same way that we got this. You're not alone, and we'll get through this together. As for Crystal, I decided for the illustration to be a caught-in-the-moment kind of scene. Initially, I wanted to capture her just after an escape from her pursuers and give her a distraught expression. But I figured it would be more interesting to explore her different emotions since I've drawn her shy and nervous already. Perhaps she did just escape, but in space, she's rejoicing in her freedom instead. When she's alone in the vastness of space without any overlooking eyes, she can freely be herself and shine on. She allows her hair to shine brightly and shimmer without fear. She's free to express herself. I'm just finishing a simple background and adding some sparkling effects now. Enjoy the final time lapse of the illustration. And here's the final result of the illustration. I hope you had fun making a new character and illustration with me. This TikTok challenge was insanely fun, and I'm excited to do some more. Make sure you leave some ideas below in the comments for me to choose from to design the next video's character. Until next time, I'm wishing you all the best on your journeys of achieving your goals and dreams. Bye!